here. Today, on this auspicious day, I, Komal Chauhan, and Velra Anthony, students of BAJMC, will be hosting a one-day seminar on data journalism organized by Journalism and Mass Communication Program and Data Science Program of Navrachna University, Vadodara, Gujarat. This program will have 5 speakers. We have with us Professor Varsha Narayan, Professor Shadib Bhatt, Dr. Uma, Dr. Sheetal Shinde, Professor Ashwarya Lakshmi. Each speaker will have 1 hour to speak, and the break will commence from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Without wasting much time, I would like Velroy Anthony to carry on with the seminar. Over to you, Velroy.
Thank you so much, Komal. So our very first speaker is Professor Varsha Narayanan, who has pursued her master's in media and communication and also specialized in multimedia journalism from Christ Deemed to be University, Bangalore. She has also worked in numerous companies, firms, and various NGOs like DNA, Indian Express, and NGOs like OLAC, Vyom, and she's also a faculty member at Navrachna University. And today she's going to talk about data journalism relevance today. So without any further ado, please welcome Professor Varsha. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Velroy. Thank you, Komal, for this warm welcome. Good morning. This is Professor Varsha Narayanan, a faculty at BAJMC. So I'll start with a few videos that would introduce all of you to the basics of data journalism. And then I'll start by explaining the relevance and importance of data journalism today. So, sir, am I able to share the screen? Is sharing the screen allowed? So the first thing that I want you people to see is there's this news organization called The Guardian in the US, and what is their concept of data journalism that they implement in their newsroom.
When I was training...
Can you hear now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, great.
...to be a journalist, reporting was about one thing, it was about words, conjuring up visual images with letters of the alphabet, essentially. Now, journalism is about something much more than that. It's about telling that story using the power of data.
Data journalism is the use of key information sets, key data, key reference elements to inform a story.
It's not the existence of the data, it's not just obtaining it and putting it out there. It's the processing that goes into it to work out what it tells you, and you have to ask the right questions to get the right answers.
You're not confined to just using text because you're a newspaper or just using a picture. You can do an interactive map when that's right. You can do a really helpful, clear picture when that's the way forwards. It lets you tell a story in a way that people watching it, receiving it, will understand it and enjoy it.
Nobody trusts journalists anymore. We're the least trusted occupation you can imagine. But if you can provide your workings behind the story, you can be open and transparent about that. It makes those stories so much stronger.
Data journalism is the recognition of the power of measurement in helping public conversations and public discourse in general.
Because numbers are so strong, it's not about opinion, it's about what's really there. So I think it's a modern way of doing journalism.
And journalists are increasingly finding that the only way to get the best story now is to involve techniques that statisticians would have used 10 years ago.
Using programmatic techniques like scraping, mining, statistical analysis on data to find a story. And then the other way is using storytelling techniques on data to reveal more patterns and trends.
In 1948, the British government spent 11 billion in today's money on benefits.
And this is stuff that is not just of interest to readers, it's the stuff that will also hopefully drive policy, drive evidence, both politically and in the public discourse.
Facts Are Sacred is about how we do data journalism at The Guardian. If you read this book, you'll find out how it works for us day to day, how we handle big projects, things like WikiLeaks or reading the riots, and how we make that data open for anybody to use.
The Guardian really are the pioneers of data journalism, I would say. They were the first to have a data blog, as far as I'm aware, and they've also had a strong root, a strong history in data visualization.
Data journalism's got sort of binded in ever closer at The Guardian. Since it was established almost as a curiosity just a few years ago, it's now part of the daily news lists, and it's always something on the big moving stories or on the investigations that we try and bake in.
There are now a number of people across the organisation who work with data every day, from the research department to journalists working on specialist beats to interactive designers and people who visualise data for a living. And what we do, I guess, is we try and pull all that stuff together and provide people with a destination who are interested in data and interested, really, I guess, in finding out the truth behind the stories.
I think data has become increasingly important these days because there's not only there's huge amounts of it, but also we have the tools and the ability to be able to really analyze it and find patterns and structure it and reveal trends.
So what is data journalism? Well, if you ask me, it's just journalism.
So what this video is essentially saying is how they are processing data in terms of coming up with a whole story. And what they say is it's not just text, right? When you talk about data journalism, it is not just text that comes into the picture. You have a whole set of data that is being processed, that is being analyzed, and then it comes into the story. So it's not essentially the text that is important, although text is one of the things that is important in data journalism. But what complements the text is the fact that you have a large source of data that can come into analyzing the whole story and giving a perspective. So I'll start with the PPT. 1 second.
Yep.
All right. So now we'll talk about relevance and importance of data journalism. 1 second. So journalism has radically changed shape during the years, considering phenomena like citizen journalism or fake news. Now, there are recent phenomena like citizen journalism and fake news that have come about with the emergence of social media. So journalism in terms has radically changed shape. So it has gone from a basic storytelling or a fact-based journalism to coming up with citizen journalism and enabling how you could actually realize that it's a fake news. And data journalism is only a realization of how the new media has changed our way to communicate. So after the emergence of data journalism, we have come to realize how the new media has changed our way in our communication, and therefore how the reporters are telling news and how we inform ourselves. So with the emergence of data journalism, the way the reporters have come up with different stories has also changed. So journalism in its entirety, in its field, has come up with a radical change during these years, wherein there has been an emergence of fake news, has been an emergence of citizen journalism, and also new media, wherein data journalism comes into the picture. Now, data journalism is a broad concept that can be identified as a new way of telling a story, enabled by the vast amount of digital information collected by companies and governments that is data-driven, visual, and interactive at the same time. Now, when you talk about data journalism, it comes across as a broad concept. So it is identified generally as a new way of storytelling. So we have something called digital storytelling. So in terms of digital storytelling, you also have data as a part of digital storytelling. So it's a very new way of storytelling. So how does anyone tell a story through data, right? So you take databases from governments and companies, which is collected by these governments and companies, and the whole story is very data driven. So they have a basic data that they try and explain, apart from different quotes that they take from different people. So it's also visual and interactive at the same time. So when you look at a data story, it's not just it's also a collection of data, but it's also visual. It's also there's a sort of usage of different colors and different graphs, and there are maps which are very interactive. So you click on it and you get the information, things like that. So data journalism is not just shaped that way, but it's also a new form of digital storytelling, wherein there's a lot of data that accompanies a story. 1 second. Right. So interdisciplinary storytelling is the way forward. So as I said, before that, before we had data, we only had sort of some new story that would come into the picture, right? We didn't have a lot of data, or we didn't have a lot of pictures, but nowadays interdisciplinary storytelling is the way forward. So you just don't have text, you have things like pictures, things like videos, things like data that is enabling storytelling to move forward. As the borders and gaps between fields are welding with time and progress, the ability to develop tools that can help us hack problems will improve. So when we look at journalism in its rawest sense, we know that journalism is basically pulling out facts together and trying to solve a problem, trying to understand what is wrong with society, or trying to understand what is great with society. So a lot with the emergence of data telling tools and stuff, the borders and gaps between these fields are welding, as in the boundary is blurring between them. So the ability to develop tools that can help hack problems will improve. So again, when you take into account different mediums of telling the story, like data, for example, right now. So that is helping us solve our problems much more easily than we had just text, right? Since the complexity of changing landscapes is increasing as well. So you have a lot of landscapes that is changing. So with the emergence of different landscapes, you have different tools in which you can tell a story. With the availability of open and public tools for data exploration, joined with the creativity of writers in providing context and giving meaning to data, producing more detailed, in-depth investigative pieces can be an augmentation of the traditional approaches. So what this thing is particularly saying is that on one hand, you have data journalists, right, who process data, who analyze data. And one hand, you have creative writers who can produce a story in text format, right? So you have two things at a time. You have different open and public sources of data that you can explore, that data journalists actually use and analyze in their story. And on the other hand, you have writers who can provide context and give meaning to that entire data. So that helps in producing detailed and in-depth investigative pieces. Like how they said, right? If you think about, if all of you know about Panama Papers and Paradise Papers, all of that worked on data. All of how they came up with the Panama Papers and how they came up with the Paradise Papers, how they came up with WikiLeaks. So Panama and Paradise Papers are things wherein a lot of famous people had offshore, shares. So that is how illegal shares, and that is how with data they sort of came up with the whole project saying Panama Papers, and they revealed the whole thing. So Panama Papers and Paradise Papers were major approaches to data and data storytelling, and especially WikiLeaks, wherein we talk about data as such. So WikiLeaks and if you know Edward Snowden was a whistleblower, and he sort of came up with the whole technique wherein he told the citizens of America that the government had a whole database of their entire, for example, from phone number to address, and they had CCTV footages of their houses and everything. So all of that is enabled by data. So the importance of data is coming to realization amongst people for and ever right now. So how do we source data, right? So thanks to the internet, there are many tools which are free and open source. So again, like I said, there are a lot of government databases that have come up thanks to the internet. There are many creative writers out there with varying levels of editorial background. So it's not just about processing or analyzing data, right? But it's also the accomplishing text that comes up. So there are a lot of creative writers out there who have varied levels of editorial backgrounds, who can actually contribute in telling the data story in an in-depth form. So access to data can be restricted. Now I'll talk a little bit about the problems that data journalism deals with, right? So access to data can be restricted as governments may not have organized access to information laws. Now, the thing is, there are a lot of other data that sometimes are restricted by the government. So again, like because governments does not have access to information laws, right? So that does not give us the access to a lot of the data. So in particular situations, sometimes if you want to tell a story through data, that data might not exist as well, or it might exist, but you might not have access. So again, if it exists, you're not always guaranteed trustworthy databases revealed by. So a lot of government databases are also questionable as such, if the data is credible or if it's trustworthy. Now, because data is a tool for empowerment, data is sort of a tool which can empower us in terms of information. It can give additional information to us, and empowerment, obviously, as we all know, isn't easy. So data is very difficult to get. But the silver lining here is that there is always an opportunity for people to be equipped with capacity building and training on data literacy. So there is a lot of training that goes up with data literacy, capacity building in terms of how you can process data, how you can analyze data. There's always there is always an opportunity for people to be equipped with such stuff so that they can know where to take credible data sources from. So they become their own data journalists, right? We become our own data journalists because we source out data from different government databases and have ownership of the reports on the obstacles they're facing. So we have the ownership of the reports that we kind of write because we are the people who have sourced that data. So from government databases or from any companies that have come up, that have put up data on their mainstream platform. That way, they gain the skill of data collection. So that is how we as reporters do gain the skill of data collection. As we are more and more equipped with data literacy, more and more equipped with trainings on data literacy and capacity building, we sort of gain the skill of data collection, and also the advantage of credibility and knowledge of what and how they want to report are now in place. So it's not just about pulling out data from government databases, right? You have a large amount of data that you generally pull up from government databases. So government databases is not just a one-page data or a two-page database that you have. You have like a 60, 100 pages of databases, or even sometimes it goes up to 1,000 pages of databases that you have. But you can't obviously analyze and sort of implement the whole data set, right? All the 1,000 pages, you cannot do that in a single story. So after the training on data literacy or capacity building, although you not only you become more aware of your own report, you also know what data to take in from those databases and how you want to report, which are the main problems that you want to showcase to the audience and you want to empower the audience with. Now, there are certain definitions that have been told by different experts, which I would like to sort of show. So data journalism is an umbrella term that, to my mind, encompasses an ever-growing set of tools, techniques, and approach to storytelling, right? So data journalism, they have shown it as an umbrella term. So what do you mean by umbrella term? It does not only have text, like we discussed, it encompasses an ever-growing set of tools and techniques and approach to storytelling. So there are different approaches to storytelling when you can take depending on the data that you have access to. So once you have an access to data, you sort of realize what are the kinds of storytelling that you want to do with the data, what are the kinds of story you want to come up with the data, and how are you going to come up with the actual sort of analyzing and implementing that data to come up with different approaches to storytelling. So again, like what all does it include? It can include everything from traditional computer-assisted reporting, which is using data as a source. So from traditional computer-assisted reporting, right, to the most cutting-edge data visualization and news applications. So there's a whole umbrella term that data journalism comes about. It is not just taking like a computer-assisted reporting, which is a basic data, but it also goes to cutting-edge data visualization, where you can visualize a lot of data and news applications. The unifying goal is a journalistic one. So why do we do all this effort? Why do we put in this effort to come up with data journalism and different sets of data to tell a story? Why can't we just enable some text and pictures to come up with a story? Our goal is a journalistic one. Our goal is to empower the generation, empower the audience, as to bring out different stages on data journalism to tell the audience that, you know what, this is the angle that we are looking at. Angle is a very important when you actually tell a story. To my students also, I keep stressing about data. I keep stressing about angles in a story, right? So you need to first realize what is the angle that you're going to take while you are actually writing a story. So the unifying goal for any data journalist, for any story, is a journalistic one, which is providing information and analysis to help inform us about all important issues of the day. So even with data journalism, what are we trying to do? We are only trying to provide the information and analysis to help inform the people about the important issues of the day or of the time. Data journalism only differs from words journalism in that we use a different kit. Very simple. So data journalism, what it does is it only differs from words journalism, right? So in words journalism, what do you use? In words journalism, you generally use a lot of text and pictures, things like that. But with data journalism, you use the main source, which is data, apart from the text. We all sniff out, report, and relate stories for a living. All right. So data journalism, again, like we said, not only differs from word journalism in that we use a different kit. We all sniff out, report, and relate stories for a living. So for us, for journalists, what they do is every day they sniff out and report stories, right? They keep searching for different stories that can come out, and they do that for a living. So it's like photojournalism, just swap the camera for a laptop. Why do you swap the camera for a laptop? Because you're using a lot of data, which will require implementation and analysis. So data-driven journalism is the future. So like even in Guardian, they said that data journalism is something that a lot of people are coming up with. It's not just the US, it's in India as well. You have a lot of data journalism, lot of data journalists who are coming up with newer forms of data journalism, newer forms of implementing and analyzing data. So now why do you need data journalism, right? Why do we have data at this point? Once you have a lot of data, you can directly delve into the data sources and come up with different kinds of stories. So journalists obviously need to be data savvy. You should know where the government databases are. You should know which government takes in what databases. You should know what are the databases in general available. For example, if you have like elections, if you want to write a story on elections and you want a data, you should know which site you should go to, a government data site. If you're writing about, say, crime, for example, you have National Crime Records Bureau that you should go to, the NCRB, which you should go to for data. If you're writing about family health or something, you should go to NFHS, which is National Family Health Survey. These are all government databases where you have a lot of topics covered and a lot of data inside those topics. So obviously you should be very data savvy in the sense that you should know what data is where and how to pick that data from. It used to be that, so this is a basic definition of how data journalism has evolved, right? So it used to be that you would get stories by chatting to people in bars, and it still might be that you'll do that in that way sometimes. But now it's also going to be about poring over data and equipping yourself with the tools to analyze it and picking out what's interesting. So what do you do in general you don't actually sit in a place and cover your story, right? You go to different places, you talk to different people and concerned officials, and come up with different quotes, right? So it's not just about sitting, but now it's also about poring over data. It's also about looking at different data sets, and you will also have different tools to analyze those data sets, and you can easily pick out what's interesting in that data set and why you want to tell the story. Like we discussed, what is the right angle of this story? How will you tell the story to the audience? How will you tell the story through this data set to a particular data set? Which data set will you go to? All these are key information that as data journalists, you should be aware of. And keeping it in perspective, helping people out by really seeing where it all fits together, right? The main aim of any data story is not just pulling out data and keeping it in front of the audience. You have to analyze that data and see that, okay, you know what, this is what is coming up with this data set that I analyzed, and this is what I want to tell the readers. So it's about really seeing where it all fits together, where it all comes together, and what's going on in the country. Now, data journalism is bridging the gap between stat technicians and wordsmiths. Like we discussed, it's bridging the gap. It's blurring the boundary between stat technicians and wordsmiths. In the further classes of the workshop, you'll understand why I'm saying stat technicians and wordsmiths, because it's not just about you writing the story, but it's also a lot of statistics that goes into place while analyzing a certain database. Locating outliers and identifying trends that are not just statistically significant, but relevant to decompiling the inherently complex world of today. So it's not just statistics that comes into place, right? You also have to have relevant information substantiating those statistics. If you say 90% of children in this state are suffering with some disease that you've taken from a database, you cannot just state that data and finish it off with, right? You have to have quotes that supplement your data, that substantiate the data that you are saying. So it has to be relevant to decompiling the inherently complex world of today. So having access to any digital platform automatically leaves an overwhelming amount of information to sort through. Any access to any digital platform, any access to any data, it leaves an overwhelming amount of information. So you have a lot of information, and sometimes even journalists, while looking at the data, get overwhelmed. So I remember when in our class, we used to have a lot of databases to work with. We would get overwhelmed with the amount of data that was there in front of us. We would not know which data to take in, where to take in, and everything. But it all generally comes with practice. You understand the data, and then you make notes, and then you come up with an angle. So it's not just putting up the data on a platform and saying, okay, I'll take this data, I'll write a story on that. It doesn't work like that. There's a certain sort of analysis that you'll have to do, certain sort of calculations and statistics that you'll have to do with the collaboration of text that you'll come up with a data story. So, and the average newsreader often doesn't have the time or knowledge to make sense of everything they see, right? We would not have the knowledge of everything that you're looking at in a database. But using data journalism techniques, reporters are able to alleviate some of the stress. So with the evolution of data journalism and with the coming up of different data journalism techniques, reporters are actually able to alleviate some of this stress. So they now know which is the kind of data that they would want to look at. Again, like I said, this doesn't come up with once you sit with the data and you start analyzing it, it comes up with practice. So a lot of these data journalists have come up with a lot of practice, and now they can actually alleviate some of this stress with a lot of data journalism techniques. So as data journalist Rani Molla puts it, Rani Molla is a famous data journalist. Data journalism is a way to break through that noise. So data journalism is a way to break through that noise, which means that it allows journalists to bring sense and structure to a constant stream of data and present what's important to the viewer, right? So as we discussed, there's a sense and a structure to that whole story that comes up with when you identify the right kind of data. So you only present what's important in that data set to the viewer. You do not present everything. Gone are the days of one-dimensional news reporting, right? So in the beginning, we discussed that there's a lot of visualization and there is a lot of interactiveness that happens with the data. So gone are the days wherein you had just a one-dimensional news reporting. Now you have different angles to which you can report a certain news. Today's readers crave multimedia coverage with multifaceted angles. So nowadays, readers are not just satisfied with saying a one or two paragraph of a news story. They would want the element of a video, they would want the element of a photograph. If there are data sets wherein you can interact with the whole data, where you can click on something and something pops up, things like that, is what interests the readers nowadays. By creating nuanced connections between issues otherwise overlooked. So what data journalism also sees is that data journalism comes up with new things to explore. It doesn't go back to the old things. It's always, for example, now there's a lot of data on COVID cases at this point. So what is different in COVID cases is what data journalists would look. They would not simply talk about COVID cases in a certain country. They would also, now a recent data story that I read enables you to interact with the data. So they'll have a set of questions wherein they'll ask about, are you a healthcare worker, or do you volunteer in a healthcare NGO or something? If you don't, then it actually tells you the exact time you're going to get vaccinated, or it's the exact amount of sort of months you're going to get vaccinated, and which phase does that come from. So you just don't have a series of data sets about, this country has these many cases of COVID, this country on this state has these many cases of COVID. You can actually interact with that data set and realize, okay, you know what, this is the phase that I am in. This is the time I will be vaccinated. Things like that are the data stories that are coming now. So new digital technologies bring new ways of producing and disseminating knowledge in the society. With the coming of new technologies, there are also new ways of producing and disseminating that knowledge in the society. Data journalism can be understood as the media's attempt to adapt and respond to the changes in our information environment. Now, how can data journalism be understood? It's the media's attempt to adapt and respond to the changes in our information environment. Our information environment is changing at a rat's speed, at a cheetah's speed, if you might say. So the information overload that is happening at this point, what data journalism does, it helps the media to understand and sort of adapt to the changes that is happening in our information environment. They include more interactive and multidimensional storytelling, enabling readers to explore the sources underlying the news and encouraging them to participate in the process of creating and evaluating stories, right? So now with the changes in the information environment, there is a lot more potential for data journalists to come up with a lot of interactive, multidimensional storytelling, and they enable readers to explore the sources. Where has the data come from? While the government databases have a lot of data sets, the data journalists also take a lot of things from the government databases. So when they always take it and put it into a news story, they always source it. So as readers, we right now know if we read a data set, where is it sourced from? So you would know if it's a credible or a non-credible source, right? So it also enabling readers to explore the sources underlying the news and encouraging them to participate in the process of creating and evaluating stories. So it also enables the readers to sort of create and evaluate the own story that is in front of them, with the emergence of a lot of data visualization and a lot of interactiveness. Like I gave the example of the vaccination of the whole thing previous slide. Some stories can only be understood and explained through analyzing and sometimes visualizing the data. Now, there are some stories which can only be understood not just with text, but only through analyzing the data or only through visualizing the data. Those things are wherein the audience allows the audience to interact with the story. There are some stories that cannot do without that. So, for example, you have connections between powerful people that can come up with data. So again, Edward Snowden hacked the entire knew that the entire US government was hacking our data. It was tapping our phone calls. It knew who the US citizen is talking to. It knew their phone numbers. It knew their addresses. So things like that. So connections between powerful people, which again is enabled through data. Entities would go unrevealed, right? Deaths caused by drug policies or that would remain hidden. Environmental policies that hurt our landscape would continue unabated. So these are some things that come up that are there in front of us in the form of data. We just need to find the right data and come up with the right angle to tell a story. But each of the above was changed because of data that journalists have obtained, analyzed, and provided to the readers. Now, each of these examples that I have mentioned here, they have changed only because data has come about, the data that journalists can obtain from and analyze it and provide to the readers. These are the kind of stories that come about when there is data. The data can be as simple as a basic spreadsheet. So data, how it's as simple as providing a basic spreadsheet where you have a couple of data analyzed and put in front of you, or the log of cell phone calls. You can also have that as a data, or complex as school test scores or hospital infection data. So you have a lot of these data, for example, crime, health, politicians, and education and everything. So all of that databases have stories that are worth telling the data to, right? So worth telling the readers. So you just have to find the right kind of story that can fit into your sort of data and tell it to the readers. Now we can paint pictures of our entire lives with our digital trails. If you know what digital trails are, it's basically what we consume, what we browse, to where and when we travel, our musical preferences, our first loves, children's milestones, even our last wishes. All of this can be tracked, digitized, and stored in cloud or disseminated. We had classes about different cyberspaces, right? So even after you die, you have your Facebook account activated, you have an Instagram account activated. It constantly processes data. There's a lot of data and digital trails that we leave behind. This universe of data can be surfaced to tell stories, answer questions, and impart an understanding of life in ways that is currently surpassing even the most rigorous and careful reconstruction of anecdotes. So all of this data that is there in front of you, right, it can be surfaced to tell different kind of stories and basically answer questions that might change your worldview of life in ways that is currently surpassing even the most rigorous and careful reconstruction of anecdotes. So how any anecdote is reconstructed in front of you, any story is given to you in front of you, it can change the way we look at through data. So now data journalism matters for every world citizen because it carries two kind of innovations. So there are two kind of innovation that it carries for every data journalism to matter for every world citizen. So it presents information, so presenting information, right? Data journalism collects, filters, and presents information in a new way, since there is a richer amount of information that can be explored from new angles, revealing more than a small amount of information in an isolated event, right? So data journalism, what it does, it collects and filters. So filter is a very important part when we learn data journalism, is that you have a large amount of data, but what is the right angle that you're looking at? So you can filter out the data and look at stories and present that information in front of the public. Second is interaction with the news. It's not just data that comes up in front of you, right? So there's a certain news angle to that whole story. So it gives the opportunity for the reader to interact with the information contained, also reaching a larger part of population that would not be informed otherwise. So it gives the opportunity for the reader to interact with the information that is available to us. It also reaches a larger part of the population that would not be informed otherwise. Now, a large part of the population is not informed about a lot of things, but with data, it is easier for the audience to understand. It is easier for the audience to make sense of what the issue is. So as advancements in technology continue to skyrocket, being equipped with the tools to make sense of it all is vital, right? So as we discussed, now that technology is evolving at a faster rate than anything else, it is very important that we are equipped with the tools to make sense of what all is changing in front of us. In the words of author Lauren Klein, data is power. So once you have the data, you have power to tell the story. You have the reader has power to make sense of the story through data. And such power requires journalists to be data savvy going forward. Like we discussed, journalism has moved past the days of collecting information solely based on interviews, right? So it has moved past the days wherein we only collect information based on interviews. In the digital age, news requires sorting through data to figure out what needs to be shared. So again, like in the digital age, now we need to sort through the data to find the correct angle of the data story and share it with the audience. With these factors in mind, data journalism has the ability to transform abstract information into something everyone can utilize. So again, why do you use data journalism? Data journalism because it has the ability to transform abstract information, abstract data into something that even a layman, for example, even people who do not have the complete knowledge of data journalism can utilize that data for and read that data and make sense out of it. So yes, this is what I wanted to say. Thank you so much for your time. Any questions that anyone wants to ask?
The participants can also write in the chat box.
Hello, Professor Varsha. I have
Yes,
one
ma'am.
question.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah, you said abstract data. So
Right.
what is actually abstract data?
So what happens is, ma'am, there's a lot of government websites that we have, right? So there's a lot of data that has to be dealt with. So there's a lot of abstract data that sometimes we might not need. So the job of a journalist is to filter out all of that data, which is abstract and which is not completely in its raw form. They need to filter out that data and look at the correct form of data that they have to come up with in terms of telling a story. So that is what I meant with abstract data.
Okay. Good.
Thank
Good
you.
presentation.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you.